What's good, everybody? It's your brother Nubreed coming through with another live stream. Hope everybody is blessed today. Hope y'all doing well. All right. We're talking about Charlie Kirk. And we're definitely going to get into his racist legacy. We're going to talk about the blood sacrifice theories that are fluctuating on social media. And ladies and gentlemen, this is not for the faint at heart. This is for those who truly comprehend and understand and who want the real truth about what's going on here. As y'all enter the broadcast, make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Show some support your interest. But I want to put this out here right off the break. Charlie Kirk wasn't just some troll, right? Who didn't have any political power. He wasn't like a Nick Fuentes, right? He wasn't just a podcaster. No, this man had direct connections to the White House. This man is directly responsible for DEI cuts, which is the loss of jobs for Blacks in America. He is directly connected to policies and laws that cripple our people, right? So let me make that perfectly clear, right? Now, with all that being said, we're going to dive into his racist legacy, the things he said, the things he done, what he represented, who he represented. So without a shot of a doubt, you can understand what's taking place. And then we're going to transition into why I personally believe he was blood sacrificed, right? I see y'all rolling in. Peace and blessings to everybody. Nash, what's going on? Sir Oliver, what's happening? Night Guy's in the building. Noah's in the building. Peace and blessings to y'all. Let's get this thing started.
It's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at baseball games? Because we have armed guards outside of baseball games. That's
Well, sir, I don't think anybody here would deny that when you send your chickens out in the morning from your barnyard, those chickens will return that evening to your barnyard, not your neighbor's barnyard. I think this is a prime example of the devil's chickens coming back home to roost. That the chickens that he sent out, the violence that he's perpetrated in other countries, here and abroad, be it 4 children in Birmingham or Medgar Evers or Lumumba in Africa, I think this same violence has come back to claim one of their own.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have.
Y'all hear that? He said that we should have some gun deaths every year just so they can have the Second Amendment. So Charlie was saying that sacrifices of people's lives are necessary. Charlie is basically saying that the loss of life is worth being able to have a gun. And see, this is the violent nature of these sort of people, these extremists. And it just so happened that his divisiveness, his racial profiling, and his undermined messages towards Black America, it came back around full swing by the hands of his own people. By the hands of his own people. See, we were nowhere to be found in Utah. It wasn't a black spot in the crowd. We wasn't there. We had nothing to do with that. This man's last words were gang violence. And you know the irony of all of that, ladies and gentlemen? The irony of all of that, he was asked about what we're going to do with mass shootings. And instead of talking about mass shootings because their young men have been crashing out, they're violent, they're angry, they're depressed. Instead of answering the question, he deflected to who? Our people. That's what he did. He did that, and that was his last words. Now, of course, we got a lot of edification for y'all today, a lot of news sources that we got to get into, because we got to understand what this man's policy was even like, what he was about.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are black.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Okay, let's talk about it. These are obviously racist claims, but I will respond to them as if Charlie Kirk were a reasonable person.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are black.
Wrong. Just 38% of America's prison population is black. That's according to the U.S. government. But it makes you wonder why Charlie feels the need to add an additional 12% to the black prison population. Could it be because his bigoted talking points only work if he exaggerates them? If Charlie were actually looking for the race that makes up half the prison population in the U.S., he'd look no further than white people at 57%.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crimes than whites do.
Wrong. The word "so" is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
So blacks commit more crimes.
He's saying "so" as in therefore, as in one.
Black Americans are about 13.
And see, this is why we got to really do our research, because they always giving us these statistics that are completely made up. And until you do the digging, you'll find out something totally different. And I'm going to tell you, they all have created an echo chamber. When you study all the suspected white supremacists, they literally have the same talking points. It's the same thing. If you can rebuttal one of them, you can rebuttal all of them. And see, that's what we have to do in this day and age, is fight with our minds and our intellect and be able to pull up the real data. Now, Charlie was taught by someone, his father, probably carried the same racist undertones that he had. So, there's no surprise. And, that's how a lot of these individuals are cultivated, right? Now, let's continue here.
Why have the black community gotten poorer since the passage of the Civil Rights Act? Tell me that.
Because of the way the culture has been perpetuated through the
Hold
years.
on. Think about it. Why is it that black America has gotten richer on average, poorer on average, since America passed all these anti-racist laws?
I can't answer that.
Okay, yeah. So do you think the fact that 70% of black youth don't have a dad around is probably pretty important?
That's because of the culture.
Respectfully allow me to interject. How does the white culture impact the fact whether or not a black dad stays around when he impregnates a woman?
I'm not saying it's the white culture.
What is it?
The culture that has been perpetuated through the 200 years of slavery, the 100 years of segregation, and Jim Crow laws.
The marriage. So
he's not giving a young man a chance to speak, but he just answered the question. 400 years of slavery, segregation, Jim Crow. That's an adequate answer. But look at the deflection, because they want to avoid that altogether, right? Look at the deflection.
So I got to interject again. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt.
Why does he keep interjecting?
Too much. But in 1960, before the Civil Rights Act, 20% of black youth had a dad around. Now it's, 20% were single fathers. 80.
Now, we already can't trust Charlie's data. We already can't trust Charlie's statistics. Keep that in mind.
80% had a dad around. It's been inverted. So we actually have seen black dads run away from their kids the last 60 years. Why is that?
Because of the raised incarceration rates, because of
the raised incarceration rates.
Perpetuated culture.
So how does one go to jail?
That's obvious. I'm not answering that question.
Yeah, so maybe.
Now we can point to we can point to poverty. We can point to the fact that our people have been disenfranchised. We can also point to the fact that there's a lack of jobs, a lack of opportunity. Right now, as we speak, our people just took a 30% plummet in the job market after the DEI cuts. Some of these individuals are going to turn to crime. Any nationality of people would do that. Now, let's continue.
It's because they committed crimes. The Holocaust was 80 years ago. Half of all the Jews on the planet were killed.
You hear this? Same talking points. Same talking points, but we're not going to talk too much about that, right? Let's go.
Everything they earned was taken. Jews are doing great. They're the wealthiest subgroup, racial group or ethnic group in America. If all of a sudden something that happened 80 years ago impacts your material prosperity, how did Jews defy the curve? How did poor Asians do so well? Why is it that Asians are now the wealthiest minority in America, many of whom came with no money in the 1950s or 60s? Why have...
Now, these are the talking points that must be disputed. And the persecution that the Asians went through, they were reparated for them. They were given financial support to set up shop. Now listen, we're going to go in. We're going to go in. Now, understand that these Asians were giving financial support to set up shop. Yep, that's right. Real 80 says, according to data from the National Registry of Exonerations, Black Americans are the most exonerated group in the United States. And that is true, too. Which would point to the fact that our people are over-policed. We get charged, we get exonerated. Why? Because there seems to be a targeting of our people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, some of the things I'm going to go into, I want y'all to brace yourselves. Because Charlie has a lot of harmful speech. And we're just warming up right now. Some of the things that come out of this individual's mouth is just blatantly, overtly deplorable. All right? It's deplorable. And we're going to get to that.
Some cultures better than others.
No, what the
Do you think that our culture is equal to Iran? Do you think our culture is the same as the CCP? Western values are superior. Of course they are, obviously.
There's the white supremacy.
There you go. That's the white supremacy right there. He said Western culture is superior to all other culture. You know what's interesting about that? What is Western culture? What is Western culture? Let me go here for a second. And I'm going to let one of their own explain what Western culture is. He said Western culture is superior.
This is going to get me a lot of hate, but no, white Americans don't have culture. I am not exaggerating when I say every element of white culture has been stolen from people of color. That is why white people get so angry and jealous of minority groups, because they have cookouts, they have big and fun celebrations, they dance, they have amazing food. What do we have? We have processed meat. We don't use a lot of seasoning, right? Because I think a lot of people are scared of it, food being too ethnic. So it's often bland or overcooked. We have music, but a lot of the music that we listen to has actually been stolen from other cultures and people. Elvis, for example, or even country music, which was founded by Black people. Oh, but a lot of white Americans are Christians and they celebrate Christmas. Right, but that was originally a pagan holiday. And Christians actually persecuted pagans for celebrating their religion, and now we stole that and Easter, and that's our culture. The craziest thing is when we do actually have celebrations, white families are often very so these celebrations are very small and exclusive. A lot of white people don't dance or they don't have rhythm. So there's really no way of bonding with new people or joining together in movement and community. And I genuinely believe that a lot of white people's racism stems from jealousy, 100%. This is going to get me a lot of...
Now, listen, I didn't say this. I didn't say this. And all I want to put this out here. According to this sister right here, we're going to call her a sister today. According to this sister right here, she basically says white culture, Western culture, their culture is stealing everything. Am I not on to something here? Is their culture to steal, kill, and destroy and recreate, redesign, confiscate. And see, now the violence is pouring over into their communities. So much so the man was taken out by his own. We don't go nowhere near Utah. We don't go nowhere near it. Now, let's continue, because Charlie Kirk, he's on one. He's on one.
A lot of people are going to be saying happy Juneteenth. It should not be a federal holiday, and I'm on my way to work. Have a good day.
Why? Why was this on my For You page? I don't know. Anyway, hey, happy Juneteenth.
So that's Charlie Kirk basically saying they should have never gave you niggers nothing. Y'all shouldn't have any holidays. We shouldn't be celebrating y'all at all. We shouldn't be celebrating you all at all. You know, the people who built the country, the people who invented everything that they luxuriously use. You know, the people who tilled your soil and planted your crops and pick your cotton. Nah, they don't deserve a day of celebration at all, according to your boy Kirk. And I'll say this. That rally in Utah was just a modern day Klan rally. According to BBC analysts, they blasted him. They called Charlie Kirk the modern day David Duke. I mean, are we really going to mourn for David Duke? I'm not. Now, it's more. It's more, y'all. Oh, I got a whole compilation here. Don't y'all even worry about it, right? Now, this is the same guy that was trying to get David Chauvin exonerated for putting his knee down on George Floyd's neck, suffocating him.
I saw a clip somewhere that you were trying to get the officer who murdered George Floyd pardoned, and I just want to know what your reasoning was about that.
Well, George Floyd didn't die because of the police officer. He died largely because of a drug overdose.
But he had his knee on his neck. We all saw the video.
But the knee on the neck is actually an approved police technique that police departments taught Derek Chauvin to use. Do you know that George Floyd was saying, I couldn't breathe, well before that restraining technique? And
so why'd they use the technique if he already couldn't breathe?
Well, because he was actually resisting arrest, and they had to
How could he resist arrest if he couldn't breathe?
Restrain him, and they restrained him in a way that they were taught to do, which is the knee on the neck technique.
Okay, so when does the technique end? Like when they die? Like he said he couldn't breathe.
No, I mean the technique ends when the individual stops resisting arrest.
Basically, the technique ends when the person stops breathing, stops moving. Basically, when they stop moving. See, when you're being asphyxiated, suffocated, your body is going to lock up because your adrenaline is flowing. Your body is going to be tense because you're trying to fight to breathe. So basically, when that person stopped moving, what he's essentially saying is when that person stopped moving, that's when they should let the knee up. You know, hey, George Floyd caught a knee to the neck that took him out. And the irony of this is this guy took a bullet to the neck that took him out.
His cause of death was not asphyxiation; it was drug overdose. He had
that was a part of it. Like he also had a heart thing, and like he was on drugs. But like he wouldn't have just died if he was standing there. Like they had his.
He wouldn't have just died if he was standing there. If he was having an overdose, why didn't they call the ambulance? As police officers, why didn't they go get the help needed to help the man to live? But instead, you thought he was stealing out the store, so you thought it would be in your best interest to stick your knee in his neck until he suffocated. And we wonder why this man's death was public like that. We wonder why karma came back around. James Mitchell, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Let us proceed.
Well, actually, there's an argument to be made. According to the medical examiner, he was drug overdosing in real time. That it wasn't because of the police officer, Derek Chauvin, that put his knee.
So if he was drug overdosing in real time, why they didn't get him medical help? That makes no sense. You see somebody drug overdosing and you decide to stick a knee in their neck. That's murder. And this man tried to get David Chauvin exonerated.
On the neck. And again,
that's what he feels about our people.
They were taught to do that. According to the Hennepin County Police Department, they teach that as an approved restraint technique. And by the way, this is just a broader point. Our whole country blew up because of this incident, and it was largely based on a lie. Largely based on a lie. We were all.
What was the lie?
The lie is that there was a white police officer that went after a black person just because he was black, and it just wasn't true. He was resisting arrest.
Okay, but he killed him. Like, that doesn't.
Well, again, the county medical examiner disagrees. The county medical examiner in the original report.
So then why was he? Why did he get sentenced?
Exactly.
Like,
that's a good
no,
question.
I'm saying.
It's because it was largely a show trial where actually they were not allowed to submit
a what
evidence.
Trial?
A show trial. A show trial is an example where you put people on display or a show.
Every excuse to give reason why it's okay to kill one of our people.
Show for a political purpose or political means. And this is an example of that, where Derek Chauvin was not given a fair hearing in this trial. He was not even allowed to use the police training handbook in his trial to show that he was taught to use that restraining technique.
Okay, so what do you want to happen to Derek Chauvin? Like,
pardon.
So
he wanted him pardoned, and he could have done it. I mean, he's close with Trump, and he has political power like that.
Just free? What is that?
Yes.
What message does that send to, like?
It should be. It's a message that you should get an actual fair trial, and that you're not going to get a trial by media.
Trial by media. The media we watched George Floyd suffocated. It was a snuff film. We watched it with our own eyes. And see, this type of utter hate for our people is sickening to me. So excuse me if I'm not mourning this individual. And some of you black folks out here, let me say this. Some of y'all are wild. Some of y'all are out here, fake crying for this individual, fake outrage. Half of y'all didn't even know who this guy was. Half of y'all didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was. But because of the programming you are totally subjective to white supremacy. Because of how you've been programmed. You didn't let white Jesus in your heart. And, the Renaissance period didn't really done a bang up job with you getting, putting out your sympathy for people who hate you. And I'm not talking about all middle America. I'm not talking about all white people. Matter of fact, there's a lot of brothers and sisters who are Caucasian who are definitely on our side about this. But y'all got to do better. Let's go.
Yeah. I saw a
now there's more.
Why should I have empathy for a race? I have white guilt because I breathe?
Why should I have empathy for a race? Well, why should we have empathy for you? Huh? He said, why should he have empathy for a race? Why should we have empathy for him? Look, listen, this is the law of the prophets. Do unto them as they do unto you. This is the law of the prophets right here. This ain't that sugary sweet Christianity. No, this is straight biblical here. We're going to judge things accordingly. Damn it, I hate hate too. Them KJ says, I hate hate. I hate hate too.
Why should the white students here have to work harder to pay for black kids?
Why should the white students work harder to pay for black kids? Why do we have to work harder to pay for middle America? We're talking about a land that was built on slavery, a land that was built upon bloodshed. Let's continue.
What is that all about?
Not every black person has lineage connected to slaves.
That's
true.
Every
white person doesn't have lineage connected to slaves.
Yes, that's right. So since every black person doesn't have a lineage connected to slaves, why should we generalize and say reparations for black people?
The argument has never been reparations for black people. It's always been reparations for people who can prove connection or ancestry or relation to someone who was enslaved at a particular period in time in the U.S. Part of the reason for this is that the enduring legacy of slavery transcends the timeline of history and goes well beyond the effect of skin color. In essence, there are many white identifying people all throughout the US that actually have ancestry or a relationship to someone who was enslaved. And do you know what that means? That means that if reparations for slavery in the United States was something that was enacted, there would actually be a lot of white passing or white identifying people who would also be receiving payouts just like black people would be. It's entirely possible that even Charlie Kirk might actually be qualified to receive reparations for slavery. If you yourself, who's watching this video and identifies as white, maybe you don't have connection to someone who was enslaved, but maybe you're married to someone who was. Imagine that. Imagine.
The bottom line is the topic of reparations should definitely be on the table and not dismissed, because you never know who it would affect, right? Now, let's go to my next source here. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this guy was on one. Now, this is Charlie Kirk. Listen.
Wait, what was that, Charlie?
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government.
Charlie, did you just say that you trust the government about Jeffrey Epstein? Charlie, did you just say that you are friends with this administration? Charlie, you just said you trust this government because they're your friends when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein. When members of this government were friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Charlie, what are you doing? Are you just following orders right now? Are you trying to turn the point of USA away from the Jeffrey Epstein files? Charlie, what's going on? You just said that you trust the government.
He was part of the government. He was part of the government. And Charlie said a lot worse. And look, birds of a feather flock together. When Donald Trump said stop talking about Epstein, Charlie Kirk was just following orders, all right? He was following orders. Now, this is going to get rather alarming, right? It's going to get rather alarming. Some things he said about consent. I got to find that video real quick. I believe it's all right. It's this one right here. Oh man, prepare yourselves.
Like a fraternity guy and a sorority girl at age 19 hooking up, both 5 drinks in at 2 a.m. and all of a sudden she like removes consent. Yeah, like that's a murky middle gray area. And excuse me, I say
That's grape, Charlie. No means no, sir. Y'all hear what Charlie just said? Charlie just said, if it's 2 a.m. and they're 5 drinks in and that woman removes consent, then you can still pursue that. That's grape. No means no, Charlie. Do y'all hear this? Is it me or Charlie Kirk was a horrible person? Can we agree on that? Listen.
Consent, did she not?
Okay, but again,
if he continues to go onward with that encounter,
again,
then he is sexually assaulting her.
Again, that is such an unfair categorization. Like,
no,
again, it's very case dependent. Like a fraternity guy and a sorority girl at age 19 hooking up, both 5 drinks in at 2 a.m. and all of a sudden she like removes consent. Yeah, like that's a murky middle gray area. And excuse me,
she still removed consent, did she not?
Okay, but again,
if he continues to go onward with that encounter,
again,
then he is sexually assaulting her.
Again, that is such an unfair categorization. Like,
do y'all hear this? No wonder he was close to Trump, who said, you know, when you rich and you a star, you can grab her by the coochie. No wonder why he was in the inner crowd. You know how these fraternity guys do. Oh man, it's much more, y'all. I mean, this guy has a demo on him, right? He has a demo.
Saying we're going to just raise tax on the billionaires, that statement, you just violated 2 out of the 10 commandments.
He said that you taking taxes from the billionaires is breaking the commandments. Charlie Kirk was an elitist. So when they popped him in his neck, just know that he was part of the Illuminati himself. He was part of the elite group. He was protecting the billionaires. Completely spiritually depraved. That's right. He was completely sold out. Completely sold out. Yeah, he said taxing billionaires is breaking the commandments.
That's not true. Thou shalt not steal and thou shalt not covet. We're going to go take other people's money.
How is that stealing?
Because it's their money.
We live in a society that is run by taxes. How is that stealing?
Well, taxations are a form of theft, definitionally, because it's not the government's money. It is private property that you earn when the government extracts it by force.
Someone breaks into your house, you call the police. When you have a fire, you call the fireman. When you want to drive, you drive on roads. When you want to mail, you use the U.S. Post Office. These are all taxes. Yeah, we all contribute as a society.
Of course.
But this is elementary stuff. It's not theft.
Saying we're going to just raise tax on the billionaires, that statement, you just violated 2 out of the 10 commandments.
Do y'all hear this? No, Charlie. No.
I fully acknowledge and admit when you allow gun ownership, you're going to have gun deaths. There is a cost to liberty. I fully acknowledge and admit when you allow gun ownership.
Well, you were a product of that. They took you out. Now, I got more sources, and I want to go here. And I know I'm playing a lot of content right now because I'm really building a case on this individual because I want you to understand why he was taken out, too. We're going to get into that. We're still going to go into the blood sacrifice edition because I have a lot of theories of why he was taken out. And, I mean, I'm going to be throwing a lot of just real tangible situations that could have occurred why this took place, right? Now I know there's some people that you got the Uncle Ruckuses, they upset right now. They like Charlie was a good man. He had a family. We love Charlie. I dare you black ninja talking about Charlie Kirk. I dare you. I know it's a few of those out there. I get it. But Charlie was talking reckless, bro. I'm going to show y'all the type of energy he put out. He was a crash out. Y'all just seen the warm-up side of things. This man was a crash out. A crash out. I don't know no other way to put it. I want y'all to see this. I got to full screen this one, bro. I just want you to hear his racist rants, right?
Live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live what I believe.
No.
What do I?
He said he lived as a capitalist, and he called the Chinese man a chink. Look.
Live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live what I believe.
No.
What do I do? I get charity every single year.
Crime, like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot.
Now, hold on, bro. Hold on. I'm going to play this all the way through, and then I'm going to react play by play. This is wild. Let's go.
Live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live what I believe.
No.
What do I do? I get charity every single year.
Crime, like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Because of DEI, it begs the question when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily. No one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian.
Charlie Kirk. live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay?
Now listen, Chinese people don't bother nobody, bro. Chinese people do not bother nobody. They mind their business. They do what they do. They be in their own world. And here Charlie comes spewing this hatred towards Chinese people, Asian people. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all like this. It ain't just Black America who had had problems with Charlie. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of white brothers and sisters who have an issue with Charlie, man. I got so much footage of them calling him out like, yo, dude, it's a crash out. Because some of them just want to get along and live. Some of them are cool with us. Some of them like diversity and want to be able to live their lives without racial tension that this alleged white supremacist was spreading. You don't just get up there and be calling people out of their name like that. That is a racist obscenity he hurled. And we got the president of the United States talking about him. We're going to go into that later. Don't y'all worry about it. Oh, we got some news to cover later. Yeah, you got a lot of people over there crying over Master Charlie. Charlie was a good man. He had a family. I mean, literally almost going to tears over Charlie. It's sad. Didn't even know who he was. That's how much they've been trained and conditioned to be raccoons.
I live what I believe. No. What do I do? I get charity every.
And he said he's a capitalist. So that means he's an elitist. That means he's for the billionaires. That means he's for the elite. That means he's for the 5%, the protected group, the Bilderbergers, the Rockefellers. That means Charlie was for, he said taxing the billionaires is breaking God's laws. Life and death lie in the power of the tongue. So now we putting pressure on them. The pressure's on. The pressure's on. Let's go.
I live as a capitalist, okay?
He live as a capitalist.
What I believe. No. What do I do? I get charity every single year.
Crime, like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Because of DEI, it begs the question when you see a black.
He said when he seen black people, he thought they were either a threat, unqualified, or inferior. But it was your own kind that popped you in your neck. It was his own kind who left his head dangling from his shoulders. This man was raised in Chicago. He didn't get clapped on O Block. He didn't get clapped on 63rd. No. Because of your extremism, you got clapped by your own.
Black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? Almost create.
Why single out black women in this situation? How about any moronic person? Charlie spoke a lot of hatred towards black women too. Let's go.
Creates thought patterns that are not necessarily. No one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian.
Charlie Kirk.
Pure hatred. And I'm going to make this clear. I'm no way, shape, or form on the Democratic side of things. I'm just a people who respect the people. I'm no way, shape, or form on any of that. I don't get involved with politics. Right is right and wrong is wrong, the way I see things. All right. So that I'm perfectly clear about that. Oh, man, we got to talk about this. And there's a lot happening right now because of what we're seeing. There's a lot happening right now because of what we're seeing. Charlie Kirk on black women. Y'all need to know. Y'all need to know.
Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
And see, this is what they do. This is what they do. They always insulting us. They always talking about our IQs are low. Charlie Kirk is one of the people who really spearheaded this movement online. If I'm speaking honestly with you, Nick Fuentes, and all of the others that follow, they really pretty much followed Charlie Kirk's blueprint. He had the ear of their youth. Now we're talking about our people here who invented a whole lot of what we use today, and also people who actually had a real civilization. Our people had real civilizations. These people always at war. It's hatred in the fiber of their being. So much so it's spilling it over into their own community. We're talking about we had a real civilization that was at peace, ran by Mansa Musa. During the dark ages, as they call it, we had regimes. We had periods in history where we were the Mecca of world trade. This is the lost history that they don't talk about. But they sit up here and keep insulting us. And listen, this kind of hatred right here has a consequence. And it didn't take us to lift a finger to do anything. It didn't take us to lift a finger to do anything. That's why I tell my brothers and sisters in Chicago to fall back, because they're falling apart from the inside out. Yeah, Mansa Musa was the richest man in the world. Africa was great at one point in time. We're talking about the origin of all world religions. Let's go.
You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
This is white supremacist talk right here. This is his racist legacy. Let's go.
Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
Mm-hmm.
I hear because of action affirmative.
She didn't graduate on affirmative action, but this bozo, this clown right here, he went to community college and barely graduated. Isn't that just hypocritical? She went to an Ivy League school and passed with flying colors. He went to a community college and was barely getting by. And the only gift and talent he had was being YT and about 6'3", and being able to spew, cause racial divide. Talking about how women don't have no brain power. I know Charlie is looking up at us right now. Yeah, he's looking up at us right now. That's right. And he has the answer for everything that he said and done in his life. Let's go.
Say that. We know. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough
to be able to get in on your own. I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. You know, this is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive. They think we're like, oh, of course, that's why we need affirmative action, because you have impressed us with your brilliance. Of course. Oh no, imagine the world without Joy Reid. Imagine the world without Sheila Jackson Lee or Michelle Obama.
Imagine a world without Charlie Kirk.
Ketanji Brown Jackson. They think this is persuasive. They think as they kind of now reveal that I'm only here because of anti-white, anti-Asian forced discrimination policies. That turned me into a bitter, resentful activist that hates white people, honestly, through our
Oh, man, y'all see what y'all dealing with here? Do we see what we are dealing with here? Oh, man, there's more. There is more. Now, I'm bringing all these things out because, look, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make this perfectly clear. Charlie Kirk was taken out by insiders. It was an inside job. There's no doubt about that in my mind. You have a shooter who was on top of a roof approximately 200 yards away, who hit him in the neck, a main artery. Not 50 shots, not 10 shots, not 5 shots, not 15 shots. One shot that went through his chest, throughout his neck. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a professional hit. And there's footage that's coming out showing the shooter on top of a building. And it doesn't look to be the silhouette of that little old man that they carried away. And I'm going to tell you like this. The question would be now, why did they do it? They like, Bree, he fits the narrative of white supremacists. Why did they do it? Because a lot of y'all just been waiting for that answer. I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to more sources because we got to still talk about his racist legacy. But I just got to throw this out here. The reason they did it is to empower MAGA. And this is my synopsis, my observation, my hypothesis. It solidified MAGA because now there's a lot of confusion going on. We don't know who the shooter is exactly. We know it wasn't a black person because we ain't going nowhere near no Utah modern day Klan rally. We know it ain't one of us. But the way that shooter was positioned, it was a trained, first of all, that was a trained marksman. And the way that shooter was positioned, there's no way he could have got up there without nobody noticing. There's no way. It was an inside job. Also, I do believe it was a deflection from the Epstein files as well. Somebody said, Nubreed, you hate white people. Screw you through and through. Don't hate white people at all. Would you gather such erroneous information from? Where'd you gather that from? And can you prove it? Can you prove that? I don't think so. Anyway, let's go. Let's continue here on this expose. Because there's more. Right now, it's getting real in the country. Racial tension is really sprawling after this Charlie Kirk situation. I want y'all to hear what's going on in the country right now. And I'm telling you, it's going to get real out here.
Man, fight back! White 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 man, fight back! Man, fight back!
hell the white men fighting back against? Who's fighting them? See, they got so much violence, hatred, negativity going on in their community. They don't know who to fight at this point. We're not going to war with them. Who are they going to fight? Who are they fighting? Who are they fighting? That's a fair question, right, ladies and gentlemen? Who are they fighting? We didn't pop your boy. And these protests right here, white man fight back, it's popping up all over the country right now. This is not something small. An Associated Press with Homeland Security have announced that there's going to be open carry in every state. Constitutional open carry in every state, and that civil war is a mist. And I don't think they're making it up. I don't think they're making it up at all. Yeah, who they fighting back to? Yeah, even their that's right. Even their chants ain't got no soul. At least when we used to protest, you felt it. You felt it when we protest. Listen to this. This don't sound like some people ready to fight for real. Who are you gonna fight?
Man, fight back! White 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 man, fight back!
Yeah, they trying to fight the Most High. They're trying to fight God and his angels. I don't know who they trying to fight, because he's the one judging. He's the one judging the nations. Yeah, who the hell they fitting to fight? And see, these are this is dirty MAGA right here. Listen, this is dirty MAGA. These are the inbred, prejudiced hicks that I've been talking about. These are the hills have eyes, inbreds that I've been talking about on my platform, man. White man fight back. Who the hell you fighting? Who's oppressing you? Who's oppressing these individuals? I know they have these talking points that they're being oppressed because they believe in this reverse racism thing. Listen, until somebody has the financial resources to oppress y'all, please just shut up. Yeah, it's Esau versus Esau. They're over policing us, and mass shooters are tearing the community apart, and they not usins. We need to really do something about this white on white crime, y'all. White on white, high profile crime. Something needs to be done about that. Because I'm going to be honest, at this point, looking at what's going on in y'all community, seeing this, we all scared. I mean, when I say scared, I mean, we all worried. We all concerned. Let's use concerned. We all concerned for y'all's people. We all concerned. We all concerned because y'all looking like y'all losing control. And y'all the ones who have the financial backing. Y'all the ones who, have the positions of power. But y'all out here crashing out. And then you got Elon Musk stoking violence. This thing is getting crazy, y'all. Look at what Elon Musk posted. Let me see if I can big screen this. Look at this, man. If they won't leave us in peace, then our choice is to fight or die. What the hell is going on? This is a billionaire talking like this. Elon Musk is like the richest man in the world like this, talking like this. Shouldn't we be a bit concerned when the richest man in the world takes to social media and says, if they won't leave us in peace, then our choice is to fight or die? What the hell is going on in the world right now? Who's messing with them? Yeah, as they go by, they get scarier and scarier. And it's because God's judgment is coming. They want a brand new Independence Day. We got this white Afrikaner from South Africa, apartheid, coming from all white towns where they were still pretty much enslaving black people, comes over here, gets a Department of Government Efficiency position, actually a position they created for him. A real cushy job and an office in the White House. Ends up leaving the White House with a black eye. And now he's posting on social media about if they won't leave us in peace, then our choice is to fight or die. What the hell's going on? They know that's right. They know that our people are awakening. And they know that the Most High is going to judge the nations. They know that he's going to judge the nations. And it wasn't one of our people who did this. You know, it was an old Mr. Burns. According to the news, it was an old Mr. Burns looking white guy who smoked on a Charlie pack. It wasn't us. We didn't put hot ones in Charlie. Look, black people wouldn't have done nothing like that. The most black people would have done to Charlie is just, you know, perhaps cuss him out somewhere. That's it. We wouldn't have popped him like that in the most gruesome way like that publicly for the world to see. They couldn't even hide the footage because there was too many cameras around. We wouldn't have did Charlie like that. We don't believe in doing that because somebody want to say something. We don't care what you say. But see, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy, but there's more. There's more. There's more. Now, first of all, we got to go back to this for y'all just joining. We got to play this again. This man spewing this type of hate. In case you need a refresher.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live what I believe. No. What do? I get charity every single year.
Crime, like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Because of DEI, it begs the question when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily. No one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, you know, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian.
Charlie Kirk. I mean, this man was full of it, full of himself, and just absolutely out of pocket. Now,
But what happened? Something changed. This shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were afraid. I mean, 4,000 black men, women, and children were killed in violent lynch mobs.
That's your explanation. But I guess
racial terror permeated American culture for hundreds of years.
Black America is worse than it has been
that
in the last
affected
80 years.
the generational psyche of an entire group of people?
Well, I'm sure it did. I'm not discounting that. I'm just this shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil.
He said that it was better when pretty much when we were slaves. He's saying it was better in the 1940s. You know, it's better when, you know, we had mammies, and it was better when, you know, y'all's women were bed wenches. You know, it was just better when y'all's women were bed wenches and, you know, y'all's babies was gator bait. You know, it was just better when y'all was slaves and y'all was saying yes, sir, and no, sir. It was better when we, you know, when you just sung Negro spirituals for us on demand. You know, it was just better for us when you were just serving us, and, you know, like you were pretty much, in bondage, and you were in the fields, and we can go outside and just kind of, slap a whip over your back. You know, it was just, y'all were just more behaved. Y'all were more mild-mannered. That's what Charlie is saying. Y'all were just, Y'all had a better disposition about yourself. Y'all wasn't as rude. Y'all wasn't as rude when, you know, we can slap a whip over y'all's back.
It shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what?
It was bad. You know, it was evil, but you were more mild behaved. You know, it was evil what we did, but you know, that evil was kind of necessary, wouldn't you say? I mean, y'all were, you know, better citizens.
Happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were afraid.
Yeah, how you gonna commit crimes when you are locked in a cellar? How you gonna commit crimes when, you know, you worried about your life? And then you got the raccoons out here talking about, I love Charlie. I dare you niggas to be talking about that good white man. He did a lot for the community. I dare you. Y'all make me sick. Where have you niggas ever about? You got those. It's a whole lot of those. I'm telling you. This is crazy.
I mean, 4,000 Black men, women, and children were killed in violent lynch mobs.
That's your explanation, but I just,
racial terror permeated American culture for hundreds of years.
Black America is worse.
He's horrible at debating, by the way.
Than it has been
that
in the last
affected
80 years.
The generational psyche of an entire group of people?
No, I'm sure it did. I'm not discounting that. I'm just...
Yeah, I'm sure, you know, us burning down Black Wall Street. I'm sure us, I'm sure us destroying Rosewood and everything y'all build. Every time y'all try to build something, we come kidnap y'all. I'm sure it affected y'all somewhat. Yeah, you know you gotta have the Uncle Ruckuses out there. You know they watching too. The Uncle Ruckuses is watching like, I can't believe that's nigga. Knowing history. I can't believe he on here. He think he's so smart. That white man didn't deserve that. Listen, if he didn't deserve it, it wouldn't have happened. God judged him. He didn't deserve none of that. You Negroes is a disgrace. If he ain't deserve it, it wouldn't have happened. I know people be mad because I just tell it how it is. Look, at the end of the day, I don't care. I sleep very good at night. I'm very well rested every night. Eat good, sleep good, say my prayers. And I think about all the people I pissed off that day. And it makes me sleep even better. Because that tells me I did the work of God. The Most High worked through me. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, this is wild. This is wild. Yeah, somebody said, no, not Uncle Ruckus, man. You know, I got to do the Uncle Ruckus impression. You niggas think you're so good. You can read, write, do arithmetic, and you can dance. We need our white heroes. Y'all think y'all know politics? No. That's a white man right here. He knows politics. Man, y'all crazy, bro. Y'all is crazy. My nigga Breed knew the time. Man, we gotta go in on this, man. This Kirk fella. This old Kirk fella here. Oh, there's more. There's more. Yeah.
Yes,
about half of all Black Americans, about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are Black.
Exactly.
So Blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders. They commit more arsons. They commit more kidnappings. For example, Blacks are 13% of the population.
Look at everybody's face. They like, yo, this dude is out of pocket.
And they commit 58% of all the murders.
Okay.
We've been over this one, I think, but
about who commits crimes. It's impossible.
Yeah, we went over this one. All right. Now listen, the man was definitely blood sacrifice. He was definitely blood sacrifice. Ain't no way this wasn't an inside job. And we're gonna talk a little bit about that. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. I got some footage here of, just I want to show this real quick. It's not footage, it's just a picture here. I'm gonna show you that it would have took a skilled marksman to hit that man, bro. I don't think for a second that it wasn't a hit, like a professional hit. Let me see if I still got that here. You know what? I believe it's a little bit further up here. Oh, there we go. I mean, like, I want y'all to just see this for a second. Now, the shooter got spotted in a video, and it looked like the shooter fled, honestly. The guy that they alleged said that he would do it again. That perhaps is not the real shooter, bro. You can't believe nothing these people say. MAGA needed a martyr. They needed somebody to really solidify who they are. If they have a martyr, it makes them more powerful. Now I want you to see this distance right here. That's a skills mark. One shot. One shot. Somebody said he said things to make people start a conversation. No, he said things and did things to cause racial divide and oppression. And listen, I want to have a disagreement day, because this is what I do. I don't cower on my platform, right? I don't cower on my platform. So what I do is I open a panel up and I give y'all at least 10 minutes to see if there's going to be a loaded cue. Yeah, they hit him with a neck tap. I'm going to give y'all the opportunity. Only people who disagree. I only want people who disagree and want to challenge my talking points, not idiots who want to hurl around. You're a racist, Nubreed. You're just look, challenge my talking points. Challenge my talking points. If you only disagree, please, if you agree, if you've been rocking with the platform, I'm going to meet you on another chat. I open it up for people all the time who rock with me, but I want the people who are just infuriated right now at what I'm bringing out. So we can have a cordial conversation. If not, it's all good. But the link is there. The link is there. Yeah, it ain't no way that little guy did that, bro. I don't believe that. Somebody said that Uncle Ruckus joke was too much, but not wrong. I'm telling you. I see one creator on here. This Negro damn near cried. He put the sad music on and everything. That Negro was like, yo, that Negro was like, I dare you. Like, you a itch. Like, shut up. People who don't even know Charlie Kirk. People who never even heard of him until he got his head knocked off. That's sad. White supremacy got you trained like that. That's sad, bro. My nigga Breed knew the time. I said, man, what is wrong with these folks? Look, I'm not saying celebrate the man's death, but I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Can people be honest these days? And let me say this, right? If something were to happen to any of us, let me just let y'all in on something. The Bible says you wouldn't care what's going on the earth because you've been translated. You've been turned. You don't care. You don't care. Yeah. Yeah. My thing is Nick Fuentes next? Hold on. This is one lady. Let me see if she next, because she's horrible. Hold on, what is this lady's name, bro? Let me go here real quick. I got a video clip of this one lady. I can't believe the garbage that comes out her damn mouth. And look, and I'm gonna tell you, and it ain't gonna be us doing the popping. We good, we peaceful people. We don't want to see nobody get hurt. I didn't want to see that happen, but it happened. We peaceful. Let me see. There she. This one right here, man. Look. It's the thing. People gonna remember you for what you done. They're gonna remember you for what you done here on this earth. Simple as that. Your legacy is your legacy. Look at this.
People, how? As I smoke my peace pipe. White people were invaders. You took our land. Shut the fuck up. What? Shut up. You were actually conquered. It was conquered. Conquered. Not stolen. Conquered. By the way, it wasn't your land. You never civilized. You never made any cities. You didn't make any towns. There was no civilization until the settlers came in and did what white people do best, is settle the land, plow the land, till the land with their blood, sweat, and tears on the Oregon Trail and all of these different ways that they settled the frontier, okay? Despite having dangerous people with the possibility of jumping out of the bushes and scalping them at any moment, okay? So that's actually what happened. So we didn't steal your land. It was conquered, and we actually bought it because white people are nice. We gave you the option, you know what? We'll give you some treaties. You know what? Even though we conquered you, unlike other tribes that would just, evaporate them into thin air, we were like, you know what? You can have your reservations, and we will give you a check every month. So people, unless they commit a felony, Indians basically can live without having to work. White people, how?
So look, these people are proud conquerors. Yeah. Yeah, she said that they conquered. That we came in and pillaged and destroyed y'all. And then she turned around and said they paid them. You ain't paid nobody nothing. You said it right the first time. You conquered. That's what these people do. Hey, listen, I'm gonna need y'all to stop name dropping content creators in my joint. Just do me that favor, y'all. We don't care for these people. These people is not. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. I would appreciate that. Thank y'all. Let me say, somebody says, thank you for keeping. No, I don't know what they're talking about. Somebody said the internet has made people so comfortable talking trash. Exactly. Imagine a man such as Charlie Kirk. Matter of fact, let me full screen myself because we're going to chop it up. Hold on. Let me get this off. Imagine a man such as Charlie Kirk who went to college campuses all over the United States, trying to convince the world that Black people are violent, incapable, dangerous, and that we shouldn't have jobs and we should be over-policed. And imagine this person's last words is gang violence in a response to a question about mass shootings. And the moment he says gang violence, boom, one of his own people at a modern day Klan rally in Utah ups the burner and put a hot one in his neck. Imagine that. And then imagine our people mourning for it, because they've been systematically conditioned, like Malcolm X said, to mourn for their oppressor. Malcolm X, that famous speech when he said, when master sick, we say we sick. When master house burned to the ground, our house burned down to the ground. When master not feeling too good, we's not feeling too good. Imagine that same type of position still existed in 2025 in an information highway, because the programming is just that deep. Imagine an individual, and you ain't got to imagine it because it's real. I just like using that word, right? But nonetheless, imagine an individual who said that George Floyd's death was by overdose and trying to exonerate David Chauvin, when we all globally watched David Chauvin suffocate George Floyd on camera. Think about the disregard for human life. Think about an individual who disrespected Black women, said they didn't have the intellectual power to have any positions, to do anything, and not even to have jobs. He said they should just be paper pushing. And still, nonetheless, they weep over this individual like they crying for Talmuds. Imagine that. But if you can break through all of that, and you're not one of those people who are falling for the emotionalism that's coming from these Judas goats and these perpetrators and these liars and these grifters, that means y'all got the eyes to see. Y'all know what's true. You know what's not. If you able to really differentiate and delineate, you hold the power. They want to get us out of character. They want our people to be bent out of shape for what's going on with them. No, Babylon is fallen. It has become the inhabitant of all foul spirits, evil birds. It's fallen. And the nation divided can't stand. See, everything has reversed on itself. Where's the profiling? Where is the profiling for these mass shooters who happen to be of Caucasian persuasion? Where's the bills? Where's the real justice? Or are they going to continue to over-police our communities? Are they going to continue to send National Guards to every Black city or every city that's highly concentrated with ethnic people and target them? Meanwhile, the man is robbing the nation blind. And I call him the man because y'all remember on Don't Be a Menace, they was telling us to hurry up and buy, while the man had a duffel bag and he was cleaning the joint up. So much so, the store clerk was like, hey, you forgot something. You dropped your wallet. Is that what's happening in our country? You're so focused on Black America, Black fatigue, Black this, Black degeneracy. Y'all got a kink for it. Y'all seeing that all day, being brainwashed. Meanwhile, we got a problem with white on white, high profile crimes. And they want us to feel some type of way. They want us to mourn. Why every time something happened, you got tethers, raccoons, and white nationalists coming out of nowhere, wagging their fingers at us, trying to tell us how we should feel about something. You feel how you feel, we gonna feel how we feel, because we delineate it. And I'm gonna say this, shout out to all the content creators who's on code right now, because it's a lot of y'all. It's a lot of brothers and sisters that's on code right now when it comes to this topic. And y'all are hitting the world with the facts, because now it's the time for people to listen. Because that was judgment that was done on Kirk. And now it opened the world's ears to what's the real history. And we now get to really challenge their talking points. Take that opportunity. Embrace that opportunity. Because the power is in the politics we address. You hear me?
My nigga Breed knew the time.
We hold the power. We hold the influence. Don't be, listen, be fierce out here. Don't let nobody come wagging their finger at you to tell you how to feel. Matter of fact, there's some scriptures that I would like y'all to share in the chat about when, if somebody can find it, there's a scripture that says, when the wicked die, there's a great shouting in the streets. That means when the wicked die, there's times where our people rejoiced. Why? Because that meant that our captivity was coming to an end. Somebody bring those scriptures up. If I have Sister 1973, I know she can find it. Bring any scriptures relative to that if you can, because we cooking. I know, we're going to talk all about the blood sacrifices and all that. We're going to do that on another stream. I just had to come in here and cook, and I got to go where the Holy Spirit is leading. So somebody do that. Because here's the thing. Like I said, Charlie Kirk, he wasn't just no troll with a podcast or a platform. He had direct connections to the White House. The policies, the DEI cuts that we have right now that got black people at a 30% plummet in job rates, Charlie Kirk was pushing for that. He did that. Let me tell you something. That man said himself he didn't believe in empathy. He didn't believe in empathy for our people, but we got people empathizing over him. I heard a video where Charlie Kirk said he believed empathy is a new age concept. He had no empathy. So where's all this empathy? And some of the empathy coming from people who didn't even know who he was, just a bunch of stage playing hypocrites. Negroes crying over Charlie Kirk, crying, trying to get people in their emotions. Real weirdo activity. Tell you something. If I was to die tomorrow, God forbid, I don't give a damn what people say about me. I don't care. Watch this. Watch this. Let's bring the scriptures here. Proverbs 11:10. When it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth. And when the wicked perish, there is shouting. What's that? When it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth. And when the wicked perish, there's a shouting. Why? Because when the wicked perish, things get better. You seen 30 people drop as soon as we brought a scripture. Y'all, some of y'all is heathens, bro. I ain't lying. Soon as a scripture came out, 30 people dropped. Like, oh no, he got the Bible. Yeah, I bring the Bible here sometimes. Must have been some new people. Like, he's one of those Bible people. Yeah, we bring the Bible over here. When it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth, and when the wicked perish, there is shouting. That means when they gone, oppression is released. We shout. Yeah, y'all seen that? Y'all peeped that? The wicked flee when no man pursueth. Somebody said that verse that's a crazy verse. Yeah. A lot of people didn't even know this was here. A lot of people didn't know this existed. And then, I'm going to tell y'all, now the new thing is, and this is another reason we know it's a blood sacrifice, they're going to also reinforce the left versus right thing, or right versus left thing. And everybody going to talk about it's liberals this and it's Democrats did it. Listen, a white person did it. How about that? We don't give a damn about if you Democrat or Republican. Y'all was in the middle of Utah having a modern day Klan rally. We don't care. We not listen, people on the outside looking at this, we don't care about that. But the media is going to keep pushing that. The media is going to keep pushing that. Proverbs 26:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. That means when it's a shouting in the streets, the people are rejoicing. Why? Because that's one step closer to the righteous bearing rule. We don't mourn their race soldiers and their people in a position of power who could help our people, but decide to put their knee down in our necks. They decide to stomp down on us until we know more. We're not fitting to mourn over those individuals. No, we're not doing that. Why? The scriptures say when the righteous bear rule, the people going to rejoice. And that's what we want. We want to rule. We want to rule. And we're going to rule one day through the spirit of the Most High. When the Lord judges this here land, our people are going to rule. And I'm going to tell you, the reason why they're going crazy right now is because they know that day is coming soon. So they're going to make all the blood sacrifices they can to their God. They're going to make they're going to do all the rituals they can. These are Satanists. He already told you he was part of the billionaire club. He told you he was a capitalist. He told you taxing the billionaires is breaking the commandments. Charlie Kirk let you know he was part of the elite. And they sacrificed him. So what? We supposed to care? He knew what game he was playing. He knew what game he was playing when he took the satanic oath. He knew what he was playing when he became a Prince Hall Mason. Oh, y'all didn't think I knew that? When he joined the Masons, he knew what he was signing up for when he went against the children of the Most High. And I believe his own people lined him up, and they're not telling us who really did it, because it was time for him to go. It was time for Charlie to go. Whoever in the high up said, you know what, it's that time, they did it. And it was done, and it was done flawlessly, and it was done professionally. I'm telling y'all. But y'all know I got much more material coming. Oh, yeah. We got some things to talk about. We're going to be talking about Trump a little bit later. We're going to be going in because he did address the nation about this. We're probably going to be going live pretty soon about that. So y'all stay tuned. Turn the post notification bell on so y'all can get these streams as they being uploaded. Also, if you want to support the show, come sponsor the show. Cashapp is right there. Go ahead and scan it. I put in a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of investigative journalism. So support the ministry, you know what I'm saying? And if you are getting edified, then, support your own interests. Also, go ahead and take the nubreedglobaltruth.com. If you don't want to just support via Cash App, then you can support me by simply purchasing something off of the site. Right now, we have a sale on Hebrew Heroes t-shirts. So, do your due diligence and support your own people, man. All right. And even if you are a Gentile, support the people who really give you the information that you're looking for. Right. Anyway, peace and blessings to y'all. Y'all stay safe out there. More material coming. With all that being said, peace.